Thank you all for coming. We're going to get started. We're going to do a quick little PowerPoint that outlines who we are, as well as an overview of the product. And then we'll get into a demo of the product and where we are in our beta release of the two new components for Alert Plus. So a little bit about Bamboo. We are a provider of software applications and consulting services for SharePoint and Microsoft 365. Over 8,000 customers have downloaded our products. We've got over 2,000 on active maintenance. These are customers that are super big and super small out there. So we like to always say that our products are high value, low cost solutions that fill that functional white space of SharePoint. And speaking of white space, there is a new white space happening with Microsoft's deprecation of SharePoint Alerts, which is why we're all here today. We're a company that's located in Reston, Virginia, here on the East Coast. We've been around for about 15 years. We're roughly 40 people. Half of those are consultants that do development, that do Microsoft build-outs. The other half are our product developers, testers, support folks for the product side of the house. But we always like to say that our experience makes us best in class. The product itself, all of our products are SPFX solutions that run in your SharePoint environment. Alert Plus is a little bit different because there is an Azure backend, and we'll talk about where that's installed. But these are not add-ins, right? So add-ins are retiring in April of this year, I believe. But these are not add-ins. These are SPFX web parts. That is the go-forward best practice way for third parties to extend the capabilities of SharePoint. SPFX stands for SharePoint Framework. So we're essentially talking to the APIs and security of SharePoint with our products. Our products are available both through our website and the Microsoft App Store. I don't believe we have Alert Plus on the App Store yet. I think we've got 15 of our 25 products there. But if you want to try any of our other products, you could do that as well, either through our website or through Microsoft. You can only purchase the products through us, not through Microsoft. So pretty straightforward. Happy to work with your team on any risk assessments or architecture designs. We've worked with many companies and have passed all the tests with our products. Just quickly, the way our product is licensed. Dale, Dale, if you have a question, I don't know if you can actually ask it, but you can put it in the chat, and I will answer it for you. I'll keep an eye on that chat. I'll keep it open so I can see when it pops up. Okay. Awesome. Thank you for the thumbs up. The product has a single price per SharePoint tenant. So it goes across all your users, all your listen libraries, wherever you want it, for a single price. If you want to buy more products, you can create your own bundle of products. The costs that we're going to review right now include installation. Unless you're a small business, there's a small upcharge if you want our Azure services in your environment, or a tier 1 client. We're still working that out, but we can discuss. But it includes training, installation, software, product upgrades, new versions, and pretty much everything, including phone support, Monday through Friday, East Coast, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., something like that. So we're there for you when you need us. We do have a monthly option or a yearly prepayment with a discount. It is a 1-year commitment at least, and you can manage your subscriptions in the portal. If you're a small business, we love our small businesses, and this product is available to very small groups that have the same challenges. So if you're a corporation with fewer than 100 employees or a not-for-profit government entity with less than 300, we've got special small business pricing that is in the page we're going to take a look at. So the first thing I want to show you. Yes, so great question, Dale. You are fairly large. Will this scale appropriately without throttling performance issues? We have spent a ton of time working around the throttling issues of SharePoint with some very nifty stuff. Again, we've been doing this for so many years. We know how to get around it. I do have a white paper that I will send around that talks about how we scale this to enterprises. with even more than 100,000 employees, and we've got some customers that are going to be in the 150 to 200,000 alerts. So that is a big concern and something that we have spent a lot of time ensuring that we can support. So I'll send that around the white paper as well. Let's take a quick tour before we get into the various components of Alert Plus of our website so you know where to find everything. All right, so we are bamboosolutions.com. Let's go to the homepage so we can start there. And we've got a nice banner. Obviously, we have been inundated with requests for Alert Plus because it is the only enterprise solution that can replicate the full functionality of SharePoint Alerts. So if you want to learn more about that, you can click on it. But let's jump over first. Actually, let's do that. Let's click on this. And on the actual product page, we've got all the information about the product, some screenshots. One of the things we'll talk about is we do have a migration path of your existing SharePoint alerts into Alert Plus. So if you want to preserve what your users have already done, we need to do that before the Microsoft deletes it in July, but we've got plenty of time. It's not that big of a deal. And we'll go through the components soon, but what I wanted to get to is down at the bottom, we've got pricing, and then you can click here for subscription pricing. So the pricing for the product, well, we'd always like to say is high value, low cost. So essentially, we've broken companies up into tiers of when they would traditionally have had a single web front end, 2 web front ends, 3 web front ends, or 4 or more, right? So that's the logic behind our enterprise tiers. So here's our small business pricing. So a small business can get this product fully functional for $878 a year, right? Crazy. If you're up to 2,000 users, it's $13.82 prepayment or $127 a month. If you wanted to add a second web part like Tabify or Calendar Plus or Simple Search, these are amazing things. You would just simply up your subscription, and you can see the increase in cost between products gets lower and lower and lower as you add more products. If you're up to 10,000 users, it's $36.28. If you're 10,000 to 100,000, it's about $11K. And then again, adding additional products is a lot less expensive. And then tier 4, which is greater than 100,000 users, is 28. If you are running multiple tenants, which some of our larger customers are doing, we just add up your total numbers. You don't have to buy a different license for each of your tenants. So if you've got a European tenant that's got 20,000 users, and then you've got your US or North America tenant that's got another 20,000 users, we just look at 40,000, and then you would be in this here, and that would cover both your tenants. Okay, so we just sum it up so you don't have to buy that twice. All right, so pretty straightforward pricing. The pricing is the same whether we are deploying the product in our Azure environment or your Azure environment. So let's go through the overview of the product and its components. Okay, so the first thing is you get a free product when you get any of our products, which is called Bamboo Tenant Manager. And what BTM does is it's where you license the product. So you can imagine Alert Plus for the end user features is going to be on all your listen libraries. You don't have to license each one of those products. You can actually, we just license it in Bamboo Tenant Manager, and everything works wherever you install it. Similarly, if you had a second product, it would also be the central location for doing that as well. In addition, BTM provides metrics on how the products are doing, right? Are they being used? Are they being accessed? How often are they being accessed? What sites are they installed on, et cetera, et cetera. Now, Alert Plus is a little bit different on the end user side, but we can discuss those details on a one-on-one. But it really simplifies your license management for the enterprise, and it collects telemetry data on usage out there for the products. Okay, let's move on to the actual product, Alert Plus. So as we all know, here is the timing for retirement of the products, right? So they announced it in October. They're gradually turning off the functionality. They're adding in expiration of the alerts But essentially, come July, they're going to remove the ability to use SharePoint alerts. Existing SharePoint alerts won't be extended anymore on the expiration, and they'll be deleted, right? So everybody's getting this lovely pink alert there. So what are they saying? So if you're unsure of how many alerts you have in your tenant, this is a great product. It's free on GitHub that I can send you all as well. And it can count your SharePoint alerts that are set up and actually running. So this is an assessment tool. We actually use this tool as well to do the migration, to export them, transform the XML, and then import them into the Azure backend of Alert Plus. So Microsoft is promoting as an option, use Power Automate. It can be very heavy for alerts. It's not very end user friendly for setting up your own alerts, right? Power Automate's a great product. We use it all the time, but it's not really an alerting tool, especially if you're going to use your cycles to scan through a list of 30,000 items. It's a lot of cycles to use. The new SharePoint rules are out there. A little clunky, but it is something that you can set up an alert. However, those alerts are very basic, right? You can only send me an email, right? So there's no custom recipients or CCs. There's no complex formatting. There's no branching logic. There's no token support, so you can include information from a document library or list in the email. There's no summary alerts, which is 90% of what users set up in SharePoint alerts are summary alerts. I want daily alerts that summarize all the triggers that have happened, or I want once a week, or and what we can do is we can just say Monday through Friday, or just the Monday and Wednesdays, or what have you. So that's out there, but we're finding that it's not really a replacement for SharePoint alerts and the functionality that your users expect. Okay, so we get to Alerts Plus. This allows end users to create custom alerts on document libraries and lists. And they can also manage all of their alerts by disabling them, changing them, editing them, deleting them, et cetera, et cetera. We've got lots of great triggers we're going to go through in terms of item created, items changed, and item exists, created or changed, created, changed, or deleted, which we call anything happens, and the like. So those alerts can be sent either on an ASAP basis, which is every 15 minutes, or as summaries at a certain time every day, once a week, or actually they can pick whatever days they want that summary alert to be sent to them, and it will aggregate all the alerts that happened since the last time it was sent to that point. So like if they just want it Monday through Friday, or they just want it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or any combination of days, right? So it's really neat the way they can set that up in the tool. You can apply all sorts of filtering logic so that you can filter out unwanted alerts by saying, I only want items that were created by a certain person in a library, or a list item that was added that has a value in a column over $10,000 or something like that. There are several front-end components that we'll see that get added to your tenant, but all of the alerts exist in an Azure backend, which is where we get our scale. That Azure backend can run either in your Azure environment and fully housed by you, or you can use our secure shared Azure environment. Either way, it's the same price, right? We don't store any customer data in our Azure environment. Right now, it just stores the actual alert configuration and the timing of when that alert should run. We use Azure Secrets to get into your lists to compare, and then we send an email in memory using SendGrid out to your users. Sorry about that. Get rid of that. So we don't have any of your data in our environment, and it is fully secure. And then, of course, we do all sorts of good training. So, you can send these alerts to users, to groups, to distribution lists. We've got our flexible triggers out there. Right now, we're just using email for the alerting, but coming soon are Teams notifications and SMS, and trying to surface alerts anywhere within your Microsoft 365 environment. The emails or alerts can be very rich, and they can be sent either as immediate, daily, or weekly summary options, daily summary options. They have full token support of not only the items within the metadata or the column names, but you can also put in site names, site URLs, list name, list URLs, or item names and item URLs that are all included in the token dropdowns. And again, we're offering a great migration from your existing SharePoint alerts into Alert Plus if that's something you want to preserve moving forward. So from a product standpoint, right, there's the Azure Service Backend. there's Alert Plus Manager, which is a centralized tool that allows you to help users create alerts. There is the two end user facing components, which is add Bamboo alerts or manage Bamboo alerts, which are on every list and library and the context menus. So again, we've got the Bamboo Tenant Manager, the admin product, the two end user facing products, right, that all reside in SharePoint. When they create alerts, they actually send them either to our cloud or your cloud, depending on what your preference is moving forward. And again, we're just storing the triggers and we generate the emails in there. So we're going to see a quick demo of it, but essentially what you're going to see is on the top bar here and in the context menus, two new things: add Bamboo Alert and manage Bamboo Alerts, right, that pop up the configurator for the users to do what they need to do. And again, we talked about migrating your alerts, which is something we do as a service add-on. Small amounts we can do in a couple days. Larger amounts, take a little more of a project if we're dealing with 100,000 alerts or more. But we'd be happy to talk to you about that moving forward. Okay, so let's go in and just take a look at how this thing is running. All right, so what we're going to do, and the demo is so quick because it's supposed to be easy, is let me grab a list. So here we are on our SPX team SharePoint site, right? We're on a modern page with a list, and this list is actually how I get to all my demos, right? So I would click on this and I would be able to do a Calendar Plus demo, an image carousel demo, et cetera, et cetera. So what I want to do is maybe create an alert whenever a new demo is added, right, to this list so that I get notified that we've got a new demo. So essentially what I'll do is I'll go there and just click on Add Bamboo Alert, and I get my very simple 4 steps to creating an alert. The first thing is to create an alert trigger, right? So this is, select what should cause this alert to run. Choose the event or condition that will trigger your alert. I actually have more detail over here if I need to. So we're trying to make this very easy for the users to understand. So our triggers are: an item is created, an item is modified, it's created or modified, right? Or anything happens, created, modified, or deleted. If nothing happens, that's item meets a condition. And then, of course, we've got item deleted in here, right? So at the end. So let's just say I want to do created or modified. So that's something that has changed. Either something was updated or something was added to this list, right? Optionally, I can actually add more filter conditions, right? If I wanted to. And this helps slim down the amount of alerts I get. But I don't really have any filter conditions. I just want to know if something was created or modified. And then I get to my actual alert. So I can choose either send it immediately or send a daily, weekly summary, right? If I want to do a summary, I get all of my days that I can choose that I want the summary. So let's just say I want it, Monday mornings, and it defaults to the hour that we're currently in, which is at noon. That's fine. So every Monday at noon, I'm going to get a single alert that shows me all of the things that were created and modified since this alert ran last time, right? I've got my 2 here, which defaults to me, my logged in user. I can put in CCs, I can put in distribution lists, and there's going to be a people picker in here in our final release. It's just not here in this release, and the like. And then I actually have to craft my email. Okay, so if I'm going to do an immediate one, which means every time something changes, I'm going to get an alert. So an individual alert for every time something is created or modified. I just have an email subject, right? Which I can put in item was created or modified at, and then I would say, how about just the list name, right? So that gives me the list name for the product's demo, right? And then in here, I can also put in things like this product, right, was added. And it's just an email. So it's got a subject and a body. Now, if I'm going to do a summary email, I get some additional things, right? So summary, again, I choose my date, right, and time. I've got my subject, which is here, but then I've got a summary header in the body and footer, and then the actual body, which will repeat over and over in the single email for every item that met the condition of created or modified. So that's kind of cool. So I can say, this is letting me know what items were added or modified for, And then let's just put in that list name, right? Okay, so then in the body that's going to repeat, this product was added or modified, and is, let's say I want to grab something in here like, is demo ready, right? Or not. So that means this will keep repeating. So if there was 20 things that were added or 20 things that were changed and added, I would get 20 lines of the body in the single email. And then I would say, this is the end of your weekly summary, right at the bottom. So pretty cool. I've got a nice, well-constructed email with tokens. The tokens, again, are everything within the list, plus the site list and item variables right there. I give this a new name. Let's say alert me for demo site updates. So this is just something that will help me find it. Right? And then I'll go ahead and save it. Now I've saved it. What's happening is the alert is actually sent up to Azure. It's now going to run on that time once a week. It's actually running every 15 minutes or so, but it's not sending an email. It's actually putting that alert and the information in a table that's temporary so that when the summary alert runs, it just grabs that all out of Azure and sends it to you so that we know what was updated, right? Now, what's nice is I've also got my manage alerts. And I can go between the two of them. I can go to create alert or I can do manage alert. So there's a couple ways to do this for users. But what we're seeing here is all of the alerts that I've created on my sites across all the sites, right? That I can go ahead and edit if I want to, right? Or I can delete, or if I want to, I can actually disable it for a certain period of time, right? So I don't want to delete it, but I don't want those alerts for the next month or something like that. So I can go ahead and change that, and now you can see it's disabled, right? And these are all sortable, and you're going to have a lot of alerts. So we've got a nice little search feature here too. So if I wanted to see all my um, alerts for demo, actually they're all demo. Let me say, maybe get something unique here. How about added? There we go, added. So the word added is here and here. Here are my two alerts that are related to that. What's also nice is you can sort by your list URL, so you can see all of your alerts for a specific list, right, as you're moving through this. We got, you can see up to 100 alerts on this page before you get a pagination on it. So pretty straightforward. So that's really the user experience. Now, what you'll notice in here is as we add conditions, or if we do an item meets a condition, um, the operators are going to change based on the type of column. So if it's a date column, right? Let's say here's a version date. The operators become after and before, right? And we also support tokens such as today, right? Or is in the next week, which we provide these to the users. They're going to be in the help right now, but we're going to have a drop down that's going to help them with that so that you can do some dynamic tokens on dates that allow you to say like, okay, if there's a task due in the next week and it's not started, send out an alert. So you can start to get really complex with these filter conditions using the tokens and variables in there, right? Similarly, if it's a number, we get equals, we get these tokens, but we also have, which is not in this version, it'll be in the release version, starts with, ends with, and contains, right? So those are great operators to allow you to really hone in on a value that if this word contains, something, send me the alert, right? So that's kind of cool. What's also nice is an item meets the conditions. We have this follow up and wait. So if we want to wait, we can say, I want to wait 2 days after this is triggered before I get another alert. So that's good for ASAP alerts so that you're not getting an alert every 15 minutes that a task is due, but you want to send it out and then maybe wait a couple days and then run it again off of that. So again, some really neat things that allow the user to build, and as they get more and more comfortable with building alerts, they're going to really appreciate these features because we've been doing it, for a while, and this is what our customers like. So that's it for the demo. Any new questions? On the deployment, this all goes into your app catalog. The My Alerts feature, which includes manage and add, those two things automatically get deployed to all of your lists and libraries. Uh, so classic lists, so let me finish this thought. So this gets deployed to all of your lists and libraries automatically, as do upgrades and new versions. We have a product that's Bamboo, that it's Alert Manager, which allows you to create alerts for other people. But you can see all of the alerts and you can create them for any list and library. So I can't create an alert for this list unless I can get to the list and do an add Bamboo alert. Because notice there's no like URL or anything. So it's only creating alert for this list if I can get to it. The admin console lets you build alerts for any list in your tenant. So you want to keep that for your power users or your admin. And who is that asked the question? Dale. Dale, you would use SharePoint Alert Manager to create the alerts for your users because those can make alerts for SharePoint lists. Unfortunately, this little function here only runs on a modern site. That's the way SPFX works. But our SPFX Alert Admin allows you to actually create alerts for other people on classic lists. Okay? And no multilingual yes yet. And I have to understand how you want to work it with MS Teams. Okay. So we have a beta program that was launched today. We've had several successful installs already. The full release of the product will be towards the end of this month, if not middle of the month. We think we want to run the beta for about 30 days, and that's going to test capacity on the back end, making sure all the filter conditions are working, make sure the ASAP stuff is working, make sure all of our throttling protocols are working and in place, getting feedback from our users on improvements as they're using it. So if you want to be a part of that beta program, respond to my email to me and we can get you into it, and the like. Outside of that, I do see some people who are in our beta program on here, so happy to have you. And I also see some customers that are very interested in our progress to date. So lots of stuff's been going on the dev side, and we're excited to present this solution to the market. Any other questions? All right, I will follow up an email to all of you with the white paper, the current documentation for the end user products, as well as a recording to this, because for some reason when you publish a recording, you guys can't see it. So it'll be in a download that you can get and share with your team. If you have trouble downloading it, just reach out and we'll find a different way to get you a recording of this. And I appreciate it is a cool product. We are very excited about it. Everybody who sees it is like, that's the answer right there. We're excited to start this journey with you, and we look forward to talking further. Thank you, Johan. Have a great day, everybody.